Welcome to Beginner's Guide. In today's tutorial, we are going to learn about the JavaScript math object. In JavaScript, math object is a built-in object. The math object contains properties and methods that can allow us to do mathematical tasks. Let me show you this example. I'm going to create a variable. Let me create a variable as num1. Okay. Now I'm going to use the math object in JavaScript. There is an inbuilt math object in JavaScript called math.cu method. So for example, here I'm going to pass the value, let's say 10.7. Let me console log it. I'm going to console log the num1. So what would be the expected output? Let me save and run. The expected output is 11. What if I put 10.1? Let me save and refresh. The answer is 211. So what is the use of this inbuilt math object name called math.cu? This math.cu method rounds up a number to the nearest whole number or the integer. It can be even 0.1 or 0.9. It's still going to round up to the next integer. That's the use of this math.cu object in JavaScript. Then there is another method named called math.flow. So this math.flow is going to do the other way around. Like if you refresh this one, it's going to take you to 10. Even if you put 10.9, it's still going to round down a number to the nearest whole number or an integer. In that case, it's still going to be 10. It's not going to be 11. I'm sure that you might be surprised because in normal mathematics, if anything goes 5 and above, we round off to the next integer. If anything's below 0.5, we comes down and round up to the not nearest integer, right? So if you want to make it clear like that, so there is a function inbuilt method name called round. So if you do this one, it's going to do exactly the same way that we do in mathematics. If anything goes 5 and above, it's going to round up to the next integer. If anything below 0.5, maybe like 0.1, 2, 3, 4, it's going to come down to the nearest integer. So when I refresh this one, you would see it's going to be 11. So when I say 10.5, when I say refresh, it's still going to be 11. But if I put 4 here, anything below 5, we are going to round down to the nearest integer. So when I run this one, it's going to be 10. So we have seen about 3 different methods, cu methods, where it can round up a number to the nearest whole number or an integer. And then we have seen the flow method, which rounds down a number to the nearest whole number or an integer. Then the next method is a round method, rounds the number to the nearest whole number or an integer based on the value that we supply. If anything equal and above 5 is going to be the next integer. If anything below 5 is going to round down to the nearest integer value. Then the next mathematical object is square root. So the next method is a square root. So method can be called like sqrt. So if you want to find out the square root, for example, I want to find out the square root of 4. Let me save and refresh. It's going to be 2. Let me say I'm going to pass 16. So what is the square root of 16? 4, right? 4 times 4 is 16. So when I refresh this one, the result would be 4. Then the next inbuilt mathematical operation is cbrt, which is nothing but cube root of a number. So when I use that one, cbrt, so it's going to give us the cube root. For example, if I pass instead of 16, let me pass 8. So what is the cube root of 8? Let's refresh and see. It's 2, right? So 2 times 3 is 8. Then the next method as abs is going to give us the absolute value. Abs, if you put abs, is going to give us the absolute value. So let me just pass the value as 5. So it's going to give us the absolute value for the 5. So when I refresh, it's going to give us 5. So when I say maybe negative 5, let me save and refresh. The absolute value is 5. So when I say, let's say decimal value, 3.231, whatever. When I say 3.31, the absolute value is 3.31, right? So this is the use of .abs method in JavaScript. Then there is a method as max. In case if you want to find out the maximum number between 2 numbers or 3 numbers, 4 numbers, in that case we can use max as a method. Let's say 3, 6, 9 or 0, whatever. So when you save and refresh, it's going to give us the maximum number among these 3 numbers. So when I refresh this one, the maximum number is 6. Instead of 0, if I put 10, the maximum number would be 10, right? There is other method name called min. I hope you have already guessed. It's going to give us the minimum number among those given array. So when I refresh, the minimum number is 3. There is a method name as pow. So this method returns the base to the exponent power. So when I say I'm going to say 2 comma 3 is going to take 2 parameters. So here it is going to return the base to the exponent power. It takes 2 arguments. First one is a base, so this 2 is a base, this 3 is exponent. So 2 to the power of 3, the result would be 8, right? Let me save and refresh. I'm surprised, why is 2? Let me see what's the error here. 2 comma 3, yes, everything is okay. Oh, sorry, it's 2 min. Let me change the method to bow. So let me save and refresh. The result is 8, right? I hope now you have understood the inbuilt JavaScript math object. See you in the next tutorial.